what I just found. Little turtle who is not yet aware of me, and I got him. What's up, dude? Let's take a better look at him. See his underside there. What's up, little buddy? He's like, I am hiding in my home. These guys are so cool. All right, so I'm gonna give this guy a little send off where he was. Put him close to the water here. And now he's going. It's funny because he's running, but he's still trying to keep his head in the shell. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I believe that was a cooter. You know, I'm not quite as good with chelonians as I am with you know, reptiles such as snakes and whatnot. Honestly, I'm mostly a snake guy. I mean, I do like lizards and you know, I even like amphibians like frogs and, you know, salamanders and things, but my main deal is snakes, you know. But the chelonians, such as that little fella, are cool though. Alrighty, found this little fellow here. This is what I'm talking about whenever I say how good these guys camouflage is. I mean, look how good that is. That is amazing, because this is the look from the path right here. You know? So you cannot see this guy easily. He's just enjoying his morning here underneath, or kind of tucked up in the branches here, and you know, I mean, these guys are awesome. So anybody that watches the channel sees these guys all the time. They are, of course, Echistrodon contortrix, or the southern copperhead. And, you know, they have hemotoxic venom. They usually get like 2 or 3 feet long, although some specimens can get up to like 4 feet, you know, extreme cases, really not incredibly often. You know, so with their hemotoxic venom, you know, like I say, hate to repeat it to you, guys have heard it, but if you haven't, you know, hemotoxic venom to cause pain, swelling, nausea. You know, sometimes it'll cause difficulty breathing. It could even cause your breathing to stop. Now, with that said, as far as pit vipers go, they have some pretty mild venom, you know, comparatively. Usually not going to be fatal. So at least that's a positive. I mean, you're gonna go through quite a bit, though. I mean, I would not suggest messing with them. Anyway, let's just admire this little beauty. Now, if you can't tell by how often I feature these guys on my channel, I truly love copperheads. I truly do. Nice little ribbon snake here. Found him just crawling along the path, and you know, of course, it usually, as usual, he's very excitable, but for the most part, As usual, he's very excitable, but then, you know, for the most part, he has calmed down. And, see this little guy? He's fine now. Well, these guys will eat things like small fish and, you know, things like that. Small fish, worms, things like that. They are non-venomous. They are Thamnophis. I believe they're actually Thamnophis proximus. At one point I thought they were Thamnophis serratus, but once I started looking at the locality map, I really think it must be proximus, but, you know, I'm not a professional. I am just a hobbyist, so who knows. But, you know, this little dude is nice and calmed down now that he knows I'm not going to eat him, and, you know, he's a cool guy. Look at him. Little fellow. Anyway, let's let him go back where he was and go about our way, so. Here is a pretty decent place to let him go, so let's let him go right here. I'm gonna go, pal. So as always, I do love seeing our little Thamnophis pals, who are awesome, and then of course found all over the place. You know, I mean, because you've got garters that live down in Mexico, you know, and then of course you have garters and ribbon snakes that live throughout the U.S. And then you even have garters, which again, these are all, you know, snakes from the Thamnophis family. You have species of garters that live as far high as, you know, up into Canada. So, I mean, that's a pretty big range. I mean, throughout the U.S., I mean, I mean, from Canada throughout the U.S. and all the way down to Mexico. That's pretty cool. Pretty big range, but, you know, they're pretty hardy little fellows. So they can pick up residence wherever they like. Anyway, let's move on. This little brown anole who is not aware that I'm here yet. All right, so of course brown anoles are actually from Cuba and not from here in the States. So they are invasive, and they're invasive not just a foreign creature, but they're actually invasive because they are eating up all the food sources for the green anoles and forcing the green anoles out, and sometimes and quite often out competing them. If you notice, you see a lot more brown anoles than green anoles now, and that is because of the Cuban, you know, brown anole, you know, out competing, which is the very thing that makes them invasive. That's what, you know, that's what makes an invasive creature. So that it actually harms the ecosystem, and it does, you know. So, anywho, I don't kill invasive animals. There are those that do. It's just not something that I personally do, because, you know, I love the animals. It's not their fault they're here. You know, I understand if it causes like a real serious problem for humans that you may have to do something like that, but in this case, you know, that's not the case. Case. But anyhow, you know, so when I see them, I just check them out, and then I move along. That's about it. A little bit slick too, I ain't gonna lie, guys. Little Gulf Coast toad. I see these guys all the time, but they're still cool. Little fellow, he's like, oh crap, you see me. They're pretty cool, even if I do see them all the time. Alrighty, so what we have here is a beautiful baby broad-banded water snake, the Nerodia fasciata confluens. Let's get him a little better light so we can see how gorgeous he is. Look at this dude. He is a stunner, or she, whatever it might be. Beautiful. Little Nerodia fasciata confluens. So these guys are water snakes. They eat things like fish and worms and frogs and other things like that. As you would know about the frogs from my last episode of a frog that one was actually trying to eat and it ended up biting and latching onto his bottom jaw. Freaking mosquitoes are crazy out here. But anyhow, non-venomous. These guys are totally harmless. Just enjoy these fellows and, let them go about their way. Or you can even hold them like this. They do bite though. They have an anticoagulant. Okay, come on. Okay. All right, they do bite though. They have an anticoagulant in their saliva, which is going to make you bleed more than normal, but it's no big deal. It's not like it's gonna make you, bleed out or anything, So it's just it's a good way to fake you out and make you think that you've been hurt worse than you have, because these guys really pose no threat. Anyway, let's just let this guy go about his way. Just gonna put him back in the water where I found him. All right, here, and we'll let him go. Very cool. All right, so what do we have here? We have a rough green snake. This little chap right here. Very cool, huh? They're mostly insect feeders, but things like that. They are semi-arboreal. They are just awesome. I've never been bit by one. I rarely find them, but honestly, every time I find them, they're just, they might be flighty for a second, but then, basically they're just little gentlemen. Very nice. I always really like these guys. They're just so beautiful. I love green snakes, like this, just bright green snakes. And they stay, with a decently slender body. They move pretty well in even thin branch trees and bushes and things like that. But they are just gorgeous, and I just saw him just sun himself in this little pathway here. It's pretty neat. I really do love finding these guys in the wild because they are just amazing and awesome. So anyway, we are going to let our beautiful little pal here, our beautiful little friend here, go about his way and just get back to what he was doing. I'm gonna get him off the path here though, so that he doesn't get hurt. Here we go. Look how calm he is. Pretty awesome.